Hi Hunters, it's Kalin here, nice to meet you. I'm the other part of Impact Mindset podcast, Walk with Kalin. So here is the thing, we're going in the park, again we're freezing very much. I believe it's still 4 degrees in Sofia. Curiosity or creation?
I'd say both.
Would you rather follow always a plan or your gut and intuition?
What are plans? I don't use plans.
Or neither in your business?
No, just like short-term burst to achieve something, to go in the right direction, but never actually a detailed plan.
Nice, I like this one. So biggest fear, the unknown or being under control?
Being under control.
Why?
I grew up with a controlling mother, so I think it's built into me that I don't like control.
This is one of the reasons after that why the kids don't like the control in companies, universities, partners and stuff like this. Okay, what if we change a bit the question is another fear, the being under control or losing control?
Losing control is a natural fear of everyone, but we need to fight this one because it's very detrimental to success and growth. I'm now improved myself enough to say that I'm not so afraid of losing control.
What's more exciting, planning adventure or going spontaneously somewhere?
I like going spontaneously. Planning can also be exciting, but I like when other people plan and I go with them, so then I don't have to do any work.
Don't you feel like a third wheel?
I don't mind.
Leave me alone to get lost in a plot. Okay, if fear didn't exist, what's the first thing you would do?
Well, I would probably scale everything I do a bit more. We always have this fear of being successful. It's built deeply into us because inertia is a great driving or rather stopping force. And in order to prevent change from happening, we also prevent success from happening in some subconscious level. We have to fight this and learn to see it in ourselves so that we know what to change.
What's one thing that shifts your mindset daily from positive to negative and from negative to positive?
If you mean mood shifts, they are biological with me, so they depend if I slept enough, if I ate good food, and also the people I meet and all of the good or stressful hormones that the body produces.
But what about the business? I mean, for example, you're receiving a call about something and it shifts your mood for the day, or there is no such thing?
Nah, I recently learned that due to industry changes, our company will probably lose about $2 million long term, and it barely affected my mood. So it is what it is. Stuff that's not under our control is not worth our emotions.
So you don't have a fear of losing money?
No, I already lost so much.
How much?
I don't know, 8 figures for sure.
So
basically not lost, but missed gains from not doing the right thing at the right moment.
What is your system of decision making then? Go with the flow, I believe. Or
I don't have any, just go with the flow.
Is intuition learned or being built natural?
Intuition is a decision making, and we need to not overindulge in thinking, because logical thinking is what suppresses intuition, and if we suppress it, then we give the brain the signal that it's not important and it's not going to be built or used.
Kalin is terrorizing me. Now he wants to climb here the hills of the park. Don't you see what slope is there?
Perfect one.
We are developing curiosity.
Already drink here. Yesterday, for 2 hours. It was very nice. Where did it go? Not much. There was sun.
So tell me how it was your week. Did you write an article about I Grow Younger?
No, I wrote some social media posts and started the Bulgarian YouTube channel.
Are there gonna be a new content soon? Because now there is only one video from a conference that the people were asking very much for it.
The one they were asking about would not help them, so I gave them another one.
Oh.
But yes, there will be more.
When?
I need to get some approvals from conferences where I was speaker, post the videos.
Want to make something like the one in I Grow Younger channel for business development, psychology, self-help?
Each of my conference speeches in the last 3 years It's not just about SEO, just about business, or just about psychology. It's about everything. When we don't connect the different fields, we are left with something missing, and that's a big problem. For example, SEO is a wonderful industry to be in, but if you have internal barriers and you don't scale and you don't do the most profitable SEO, which is with high scale, then you're missing on it. And it's the same with business.
But what are the skills that you need to have to be successful entrepreneur? Based on your mindset, it's not to wake up at 5 in the morning to do yoga, meditation, to write a journal.
No, not at all. You need intuition and it comes from experience, but in order to be able to, you need to have an industry where you can afford to be creative.
So the SEO, I believe, it's not very creative industry.
SEO is extremely creative.
In what way?
Well, you have so many different ways of doing it. It has a lot of width, so it's not like if you are a doctor and you work with a patient, you have one best way to treat the patient. But in SEO, you have hundreds of different ways to try to rank a website, and there are also combinations. SEOs, they have the opposite problem, is that there is no structure and you have to create your own, which for some people runs into psychological difficulties.
But here comes the thing that it's a very soul man game, the SEO. I mean, even if it's creative in a certain way, if you watch it, of course, there is the other thing that you're staying alone at home with a laptop and you're clicking some buttons. I don't know much about SEO.
I can see that you haven't come to the SEO conferences in Thailand, Vietnam, and other nice
No, but
places.
you can bring me on a business trip.
I could, but yeah, SEO can be quite social because it has a lot of opportunities for mutual help. If two people with a bunch of websites exchange links, not directly between two websites, but between different websites of their network, then they both win. If it's not an exchange, Google cannot spot it. So there's a lot of collaboration regarding links, regarding data, regarding connections with people with whom you can have this win-win relationship.
But
Active in
Google
cooperation.
is the enemy, right?
Well, Google gives us the value that we plunder as SEOs, so they are not the enemy as in the foundation, the driving forces. And Google is also not pursuing SEO and websites aggressively. Sometimes they do, and then we notice. Remember that if you're doing something with another big company like Amazon or Meta, then you are being on the back foot all the time. They're being very aggressive. Google is being nice most of the time. In the few times they're getting aggressive, we spot it and we complain, but just because SEOs are extremely spoiled.
How many websites did Google put you down?
10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, actually, we lost more than 1,000 websites in one go, which was almost our entire network. But then I made a big bluff and I wrote an open letter that I told Google that they are attacking small businesses in a targeted way, in an evil way, and I can devote my life to destroying their company. They are making all their money from ads, so I said that I would convince the entire world to install an ad blocker. This sent some signal to them, apparently, because they stopped targeting my websites. But they have back then the monopoly they have today. Today it wouldn't have worked because they own the Chrome, the biggest used browser, and Android, the operating system that is now has larger market share than Windows because people mostly use internet on their phones now.
Is it possible the industry to make you burn out, or it's much more fluid and chill than the other ones?
Only you can make yourself burn out. There's always a choice. Sometimes it's hidden, but if you are too harsh on yourself, you can develop self-love. If you have a very harsh boss, you can quit. Burnout should never happen because it's not good for you or your work. Of course, some industries are harder than others, but this is why it's a choice. It's a conscious choice which industry you go in.
If you need to recommend one, it's gonna be only the SEO.
SEO is good. I would say that data in general is very good because you can sell data multiple times to multiple buyers after you have collected it only once, and the transaction is very easy and seamless. Domain names still have the potential for easy wins. You know, this Chinese LLM DeepSeek. I'm always the last to learn news because I don't use any social media feeds and I only use YouTube, and so DeepSeek became famous enough for big YouTube videos. Already the whole world knew, only I didn't, and I learned maybe 3 or 4 days after it was all over the media. But I went to a domain in a registrar and I typed DeepSeek and I ran all the countries, and somehow in all big countries DeepSeek.the extension was taken. Only in Spain it was available. So I bought it for €4. Now we're selling it for 3,000 less than a month later. So and I didn't use any resources from my company. I didn't use drop catching. I didn't use databases. So I'm getting my company an easy win. But anyone could do this. Anyone could do this. I think the reason that it didn't happen was because in Spain they ask for a European Union identity number or something. So probably American buyers tried. It seemed too complicated, although there are websites where you can pay like €5 extra and they give you a local owner. So basically anyone from Europe could have done this extremely easily, and anyone from abroad could have done it with minimal friction. But still, no one did it, and €4 becomes 3,000 in a month with very low risk. Of course, the risk is €4.
So you got lucky.
Yeah, but you can say it's luck if you bought 100 domains and let's say one sold, and that is, it's lucky that this one sold. But in this case, it's 1 out of 1, so I wouldn't call it luck, because it's not very probable that 1 out of 1 will sell out of luck.
Okay, but in a certain moment, before a few years, it was very trendy the people to be in the domain industry somehow, to catch a good domain and to sell it for 1,000 times bigger price. How can you do this? Actually, you need to look for a trend, I believe, and based on the trend to look for the name.
Trends are now saturated, but still in certain countries there are good opportunities. I can't say which, but there are opportunities. But the domain names are a very slow game. It requires capital, it requires you to burn money to learn. While in SEO there are much better models where you can earn while you learn, not burn.
But how much money you need actually for both industries? I mean, they're kind of the same, the domains industry and the SEO industry.
In the SEO industry, you can start with a 3-figure amount, so like $500. Literally can be your starting capital. Build one website with the right metrics and traffic, sell some links, then they become 2,000 from 500, and then with these 2,000 you buy 3 more websites or 4. You buy domains, you build websites. Now with AI content, extremely easy. So in SEO you can start buying domains and selling links extremely cheaply. It's the industry expertise that will be slower to build, but absolutely doable. The good thing about link selling is that you don't need to understand the SEO industry completely or how to do SEO at all to sell links. You just need to understand what links people want to buy. That's all there is. It's like 5% of SEO.
How can you learn which links you should buy?
You can go into link marketplaces as a buyer and see what links people are selling at what price, and try to get an intuition about the market. Try to build the same websites that you see that they already sell links. The good thing is that the websites that are on the marketplaces, if they sell links, the links should be visible to Google and to people, so you can go in there and see which websites actually sell links. So you can just copy the success of others, copy the successful models. Our company, it has the SEO domains brand, which is the largest provider of domains for this specific purpose in the world. And although a small percentage of our buyers do it for link selling, most of the buyers try directly to rank something. I think that link selling is the best business opportunity in the world right now.
How much money can you make if you're in the link selling business?
Oh, tons. Like, I think the biggest link sellers in the world make more than $1 million a month.
What is the biggest benefit about buying a domain and selling it after, and buying and I believe links?
Buying a domain and selling it after is hard. You buy it in competition with a small part of the SEO industry and then selling links to a huge part of the SEO industry. So here you make the arbitrage. And you only need to get some AI content to create a decent looking website and either achieve or fake some traffic in Ahrefs.
Great. So is there maybe a course or something, because I believe the people are going to ask, that you can learn about SEO?
About SEO, there are many good YouTube channels, for example, Matt Diggity, Kaz Radash, Jackie Chu. But specifically for the link selling, there's no course because it's just so straightforward. The course would literally be like 2 hours.
Yeah, you said it already that you need to build intuition about it, to lose a bit of money, and then to learn the industry better, because it's something that is going to provide you a lot of knowledge with the time.
Well, if you try to flip domains, you would need to lose some money to learn. But if you try to sell links, I don't see how you'd lose money. Because here's what happens: you find a good domain for, let's say, $300 or 500 at an auction or with SEO domains. Then you buy it and you build a website. The website costs you like $10 because it's just WordPress installation and AI content. But the domain with a website is already worth more. So you have the asset that you bought. You didn't waste any money. You still have the asset, the domain, which is now worth more because it also has a website. And you start selling links, you keep the asset, the links are just free money. There's no better model that you can find
And you
anywhere.
never try to sell any physical product, you are always in the digital world.
Nah, physical products are too hard.
Why?
They have to be shipped, they can get broken. It's just so
Many
complicated.
responsibilities.
Like, we can sell a domain in New Zealand, which is exactly on the opposite part of the world, and they pay us digitally with bank wire, credit card, PayPal, whatever, crypto even, and we just send them a transfer code via email. They enter the code somewhere and the domain travels to New Zealand instantly.
Wow.
So imagine shipping an actual physical good to New
So
Zealand.
it's fully passive income. You have just a bit of a action to do. The rest is done automatically.
Well, with links, it's more or less passive income. With domains, you only get the sale price once. But of course, if you manage to get the domains cheap, like we at SEO domains do, but only because we have invested probably 8 figures by now in drop catching technology, you can make a good profit. But this opportunity is now more or less closed. It's very competitive to get domains cheaply, but you can still get them on the market price and sell links. And this way, you keep the asset, you get the passive income, and you only need to care about one thing: Google not penalizing you. But things changed a lot since I got the Google penalties in 2012 and 2013, because back then it was before the GDPR law, so it was very hard to hide your whois data. You need to have domains under different entities, fake or real, and it was a pain for a lot. But now after GDPR, whois is private. So this concern is now gone. Also back then, the main expense, especially in exotic languages like Scandinavian and so on, it was content. Actually, one article for blog selling links in Norwegian cost like 30 to 50 euro to write. Now with AI, you can write or translate for free. And back then, you didn't have Cloudflare. Now you have Cloudflare hosting so much of the internet, you can just use different free Cloudflare accounts to host your different websites. And on behind this, they can all be on one server. Just don't use cPanel because it leaves fingerprints. You need just a VPS or a cloud, and it's very easy to actually hide your IP. Whois is not visible and content is free, so link selling now should be in its golden age. True, domains are more expensive, but also links are more expensive. So the initial investment is a bit higher, but also the payout is higher and the process is easier.
Amazing. You're giving us a very valuable information, something like a recipe from the kitchen. Is there something from all the conferences that you've been in the past few months that the people don't actually know, but it's gonna happen in the next period of time?
Well, SEO always changes, but what doesn't change is our psychology. And our psychology, especially for those of us who are brought up by very responsible, very hardworking parents like mine, we always have this notion that there is no easy success. And when you hear about easy success, it's automatically fake, it's a scam. And of course, a lot of the easy success recipes are scams, or they don't work for a bit and no longer work. And you may hear that shipping is easy money, but when you try doing it, it's hard money and all of those. But link selling in SEO it's categorically different, because SEO is quite hard on the psychology. It can be boring, as you said, it can be lonely. You have no structure. You are an entrepreneur, but not only an entrepreneur, but you are an inventor, an innovator all day. Because in link selling, you need to find your own way to find link buyers. If you rely on the same marketplaces, the success will be decent but marginal. If you manage to find your way to the big link buyers, mostly iGaming companies, then you score the big success. This is where the big money are. All of these facts, they affect the supply and the demand on the market, and you can, for example, make an iGaming blog in Swedish or Norwegian, earn a bunch of money, while someone who hasn't yet broken these psychological barriers would make a furniture blog in English and not sell the same amount of links, or not, the links would not be
Many times you
that
said it, the
expensive.
most profitable one is the gambling industry here.
Yes.
But how to say it so to not seem too religious? Isn't it a sin in this industry?
What you do is you help one gambling company take market share from another. They don't increase the gambling industry size as a whole. It's a zero-sum game for them, but a profit for you, which is unlike if you say serve gambling ads, then you increase the market of the gambling industry as a whole. And this is something we don't do for ethical reasons. Even though our websites have a lot of traffic, we try to, if possible, not sell it to gambling companies. Everything is connected. You, your business, the industry, the psychology, the structures, the myths, everything is one. And so you should not try to divide your intuition into pieces, because it's not dividable. Your logic can be divided, but logic is very weak compared to intuition. So just remember, everything is one. You and your business are one, because the important part of the business happens in your head, not somewhere else. It doesn't happen in the world, it doesn't happen in the sky or in the ground, it happens in your head. So the important thing is not to try to divide things. When you divide, you lose the nuance that is the most important thing for the intuition.
Is it bad when a person is very creative, is generating a lot of ideas and non-stop is having entrepreneurship ideas, and even if it doesn't conquer them and make them happen? Because I believe that from all the ideas that you have, one is gonna be the one that is gonna change the world.
Definitely having ideas is good, because only when you have a lot of them, only when you try them, and only when you do small micro fails, then can you learn to distinguish the good ideas from the bad ideas, the one that cannot actually happen. And only with practice will this intuition be born.
Great.